The content in this podcast is fully AI generated based on real news articles. Listener discretion is advised. For more detailed information and the original context, please refer to the links provided in the show notes, which direct you to the news articles this podcast is based on. Enjoy the show.
Welcome, everyone, to episode number 19 of our podcast. Kicking things off, we've got some intriguing news from the comic book world. It seems DC Comics has had to pull and replace several covers amidst accusations they were generated by AI. Isn't that right, Joanne?
Yes, John, it's quite a story. According to Bleeding Cool News, DC Comics faced backlash over covers for Shazam, Wonder Woman, and Power Girl. Some folks on social media accused the artist Daxiong of using AI to create these artworks.
Social media can really amplify these controversies, huh? It didn't take long for Daxiong to respond. He posted hand-drawn sketches on Instagram to debunk those claims, asserting that his work was entirely traditional.
That's a tough position to be in. Daxiong even spoke to YouTuber Vinicius, or Two Quadrinhos, and mentioned he's been a traditional artist for over 30 years. He also said that while he doesn't use AI, he isn't opposed to it in general.
And DC Comics didn't take these accusations lightly. They've got policies ensuring all artwork is original, and they're investigating this AI concern thoroughly.
In the meantime, they've replaced the controversial covers with new ones from artists Dave Johnson, Dan Panosian, and Cully Hamner. So a fresh start for those comic issues.
It raises an interesting debate about AI's place in creative fields. Daxiong sees AI as part of science, not necessarily as a tool for his art, but acknowledges its utility in other areas like translations.
Right, and it's interesting to note why the covers were changed. Daxiong and DC considered the impact on sales if the controversy escalated. Changing the covers was more about avoiding potential backlash than admitting to AI usage.
Exactly. Wait, not exactly, but you get the point. And with those new covers, we're seeing titles like Power Girl joining forces with the Holiday Girls and Wonder Woman facing off against Cheetah in upcoming issues.
Definitely sounds like DC Comics is making sure their slate is clear and controversy-free. Thanks for the details, Joanne and Jessica. Let's see what other twists and turns the tech world has for us. Up next, we'll dive into accusations against Netflix involving AI in their true crime documentaries. Stay tuned. Moving on to our next topic, Netflix is facing some heat for their documentary What Jennifer Did. Petapixel reports that there's been a bit of controversy over the use of AI-manipulated images. Joanne, what's the story here?
Well, John, What Jennifer Did is a true crime documentary about Jennifer Pan, who orchestrated a kill-for-hire attack on her parents. The issue arose when viewers noticed something off about the images shown in the documentary.
That's right, Joanne. About 28 minutes into the documentary, they present a series of photos of Jennifer Pan and her high school friend Nam Nguyen. But some keen-eyed viewers spotted signs of manipulation in these photos.
So what kind of manipulations are we talking about here?
One photo in particular shows Jennifer flashing peace signs with both hands. And here's where it gets weird. On her left hand, she's missing 3 fingers, and on the right, a finger is unnaturally long. Classic signs of AI-generated imagery struggles.
Exactly. And there are 2 other photographs of her in the same red dress that also show clear AI artifacts. It's troubling because true crime documentaries should aim to present the truth as accurately as possible, especially through their imagery.
And this isn't just about image quality, right? There's a bigger ethical question here.
Absolutely, John. Using AI to generate images of real people, especially someone involved in a crime and still imprisoned, is a sensitive issue. It can mislead viewers about the reality of the person being depicted.
Futurism even commented on it, raising concerns about the ethical implications of using such technology in serious documentaries.
It'll be interesting to see how Netflix responds to these accusations. They've been contacted for a comment. But moving on, what's next for us, Jessica?
Next up, we'll explore how OpenAI has decided to wind down an AI image generator that made quite a splashback in 2022. Stay tuned for more details.
Now let's talk about something a bit nostalgic. OpenAI recently ended the availability of DALL-E 2, an AI that could generate images from text descriptions. Ars Technica has a great piece on this. Jessica, can you start us off on what made DALL-E 2 so special?
Sure, John. When DALL-E 2 launched back in April 2022, it was a real shock to everyone. The ability to create photorealistic images from just a text prompt was nothing short of revolutionary. It marked a major moment in AI, filled with wonder and, of course, a hefty ethical debate.
It was such an exciting time for artists and tech enthusiasts alike. They described the early days of DALL-E 2 as a period of unlimited freedom. Illustrator Douglas Bonneville shared with ours that it felt like a liberation from and into something else entirely, though what that something was remained elusive.
And now OpenAI has moved on to DALL-E 3, right?
Yes, that's right. DALL-E 3 offers even more detail in its images, and OpenAI has begun rolling out new editing capabilities. But with this technological progress, DALL-E 2 has been phased out, no longer available for new customers.
It's not just about the technology itself, but the community that formed around it. Artists like Danielle Baskin felt like pioneers, exploring these new creative possibilities together. She mentioned staying up hours just playing around with the generator, creating infinite alternate worlds.
There was a term for them, wasn't there?
Indeed, they were called latent space astronauts by some. It's a nod to how these artists navigated the vast possibilities of AI image creation, much like astronauts exploring space.
And all this began long before DALL-E 2. Artists have been using computers to create images since the 1950s, and AI's role in art has only grown since then, with major steps forward like Google's Deep Dream and Transformer model generators.
It's fascinating how AI continues to push the boundaries of creativity. But as we say goodbye to DALL-E 2, we also look forward to what comes next in AI art. Thanks, Jessica and Joanne, for sharing that. Up next, we delve into a mysterious detail discovered in a famous Raphael masterpiece, all thanks to AI. Stay tuned. Switching gears, let's dive into an intriguing development in the art world. Science Alert reports that AI has uncovered a hidden detail in a famous Raphael masterpiece, the Madonna della Rosa. Jessica, what's this mysterious detail?
John, it turns out that not all the faces in the Madonna della Rosa were painted by Raphael himself. The AI, using a custom algorithm, has pinpointed that the face of Saint Joseph in the top left of the painting likely wasn't painted by Raphael at all.
That's fascinating. Scholars have debated the authenticity of this painting for a long time. This AI used a deep feature analysis method trained specifically on Raphael's known works to analyze the painting down to the brushstrokes and shading.
How exactly does this AI work to uncover something like that?
The team modified existing technology called ResNet 50, originally developed by Microsoft, and combined it with a technique known as a support vector machine. They trained this setup to recognize Raphael's style with an impressive 98% accuracy rate.
Interestingly, while the faces of the Madonna, the Child, and St. John were confirmed to be Raphael's work, St. Joseph's face did not match the same artistic quality, prompting suspicions about another artist's involvement.
So who might have painted St. Joseph's face then?
The researchers think it might have been Giulio Romano, one of Raphael's pupils, but that's still up for debate. It's an incredible example of how modern technology like AI can aid in uncovering the layers of history.
It's also important to note that this AI tool is intended to support art experts, not replace them. It adds a layer of technical scrutiny that complements traditional methods of art authentication.
Absolutely, Joanne. It shows us how AI can be a valuable ally, in preserving and understanding our cultural heritage. Speaking of useful AI tools, next up, we'll be discussing how Logitech's free AI prompt builder has become a handy tool. Stay tuned. All right, moving on to something quite handy for those into gadgets and productivity. ZDNet's Junwan has a fascinating take on Logitech's AI prompt builder, which is part of their Logi Options Plus tool. Joanne, can you fill us in on this?
Certainly, John. Logitech, known for their keyboards and mice, has introduced an AI prompt builder into their configuration software. It's a feature that might seem unnecessary at first, but turns out to be quite useful for boosting productivity.
Yeah, and the interesting part here is how it integrates with their existing products. For instance, you can configure the AI prompt builder to a mouse button, making ChatGPT just a click away. This can significantly streamline how you interact with AI for tasks.
That does sound convenient. How does one get started with this feature?
First things first, you need to be running the latest version of Logi Options Plus. From there, it's a simple matter of clicking on the gear icon in the software to check for updates, and then adding the AI prompt builder to your mouse or keyboard.
And they've made it really customizable too. You can create what they call recipes, which are essentially pre-written prompts that you can activate with a click. It's designed to make routine tasks faster and more intuitive.
Sounds like a tool that could fit seamlessly into anyone's workflow. Any drawbacks or limitations noted in the review?
Well, the reviewer did mention a minor bug where the last selected text appears in the prompt window even if it's unrelated to the current task. But overall, the feedback was overwhelmingly positive, especially for those who value an efficient workflow.
Exactly. And if you're a subscriber to ChatGPT Plus, you can even link it to your account for more advanced features. This integration pulls in more robust AI capabilities directly into your daily tech use.
It's fascinating to see everyday tools like a mouse or keyboard becoming gateways to advanced AI functionalities. Logitech seems to be onto something big here. Next up, we'll take a look at how Slack is expanding its AI tools to all paying customers. Stay tuned for more insights. Moving on to the workplace, Slack has rolled out its AI tools to all paying customers, according to Engadget. These tools were initially released to a select group earlier this year. Jessica, can you break down what these tools are?
Sure, John. One of the key features is the AI-generated channel recaps. This tool summarizes the key highlights from a Slack channel, like details of upcoming events or important discussions, so you can catch up quickly if you've been away.
That sounds incredibly useful for keeping up with both work-related updates and lighter moments like office in-jokes or plans for a colleague's birthday party.
There's also something for more focused interactions, right?
Yes, for smaller conversations, there's a tool that can provide recaps for individual threads. Users can opt for daily recaps sent each morning, which could streamline how we manage our communications.
And let's not overlook the conversational search feature. It allows users to find specific chats using natural language queries, which sounds like a real time saver when navigating through endless Slack channels.
What about language support?
Slack's AI tools aren't limited to English. They now support Japanese and Spanish, making these tools accessible to a broader audience.
And there's more on the horizon. Slack plans to integrate its AI with popular third-party apps, starting with Salesforce's Einstein Copilot. That should add even more versatility to the platform.
It will be interesting to see how these tools change the way we use Slack. Up next, we'll explore how Google's newly formed Platforms and Devices team is focusing on AI. Stay tuned. Let's pivot to some big news from Google. According to The Verge, Google's newly formed Platforms and Devices team is reshaping how the company integrates AI across all its products. Joanne, can you tell us more about this reorganization?
Absolutely, John. Google CEO Sundar Pichai announced this major internal shift, creating a team that will oversee Google's key products like Pixel, Android, and Chrome. The goal here is straightforward: accelerate AI integration to enhance user experiences across Google's ecosystem.
Rick Osterloh, who's heading this new team, mentioned that this consolidation allows for what he calls full-stack innovation. For instance, the integration of hardware and software with AI has significantly improved features like the Pixel camera's capabilities.
So it's not just about improving existing products.
Right, John? It's also about pushing the envelope on new technologies. Osterloh brought up how Google is competing with heavyweights like NVIDIA through its Tensor products, focusing on rapid improvements in AI hardware and software integration.
And there's a real emphasis on speed here. By merging teams under a single leadership, Google is aiming to streamline processes and quicken the pace of innovation, particularly in AI.
What does this mean for the future of Android and other Google products?
It signals a deeper integration of AI features throughout the Google ecosystem. Imagine AI-driven enhancements in everything from your smartphone to your car, thanks to Android Auto or even your wearable devices.
And it's not just about internal changes. Google's approach also affects its partnerships and how it interacts with other major players in the industry, like Qualcomm.
It sounds like Google is really setting itself up to lead in AI-driven technology. Up next, we'll explore how Microsoft's VASA 1 technology can deepfake a person with just one photo and one audio track. Stay with us. Shifting gears to a groundbreaking development in AI, Microsoft Research Asia has introduced VASA 1, an AI model capable of animating a person from just one photo and an audio track. Joanne, can you delve into how this works?
Certainly, John. VASA 1, or Visual Effective Skills Animator, uses machine learning to analyze a static image and a speech audio clip. It then generates a realistic video that includes precise facial expressions, head movements, and lip syncing that matches the audio.
It's fascinating because it doesn't clone voices. It uses existing audio, which could be anything from a spoken sentence to a song. This could potentially revolutionize how we interact with digital avatars or enhance video conferencing with real-time animations.
What about the realism? How does it stack up against previous technologies?
Microsoft claims VASA 1 significantly outperforms earlier speech animation methods in realism, expressiveness, and efficiency. It operates at a high resolution and can animate up to 40 frames per second, making it suitable for real-time applications.
And the examples Microsoft showcased include everything from speaking to singing avatars. They even animated the Mona Lisa rapping, which shows the model's versatility in expressing different emotions and actions.
However, with great power comes great responsibility, right? What are the ethical considerations here?
Exactly, John. While the potential for educational and accessibility improvements is huge, there's also a risk of misuse. The technology could be used to fake videos or misrepresent people by making them appear to say things they never did.
That's why Microsoft is cautious about releasing this technology widely. They're exploring ways to use VASA 1 responsibly, including advancing forgery detection to help identify AI-generated content.
It's a balancing act between innovation and integrity. Up next, we'll discuss why vector databases are currently making waves in the AI community as we reach the peak of the AI hype cycle, according to TechCrunch. Stay with us. Next up, we're diving into why vector databases are gaining momentum in the tech world, as reported by TechCrunch. Joanne, could you start us off by explaining what vector databases are?
Sure, John. Unlike traditional relational databases that handle structured data, Vector databases manage unstructured data like images, videos, and social media posts by converting them into numerical representations. These are known as vector embeddings, which help capture the meaning and relationships between data points.
And this capability is crucial for large language models and generative AI, right? It helps these systems understand and retrieve data that's semantically similar, enhancing everything from chatbots to content recommendation systems.
It sounds like these databases are pretty essential for modern AI applications. What's driving their popularity now?
The surge in AI development, especially with generative AI, has created a huge demand for efficient ways to handle and retrieve unstructured data. Vector databases fill that gap by providing spatial storage and retrieval, which is ideal for AI tasks.
Companies like Quadrant and Marco are making significant strides here. For instance, Quadrant recently secured $28 million in funding, underscoring the growing investor interest in this technology.
That's quite the investment. Are there any specific applications of vector databases that stand out?
Absolutely, John. Beyond enhancing AI applications, vector databases are also crucial in reducing errors like hallucinations in language models by providing additional contextual information.
And with the advancements in vector search technology, companies no longer rely solely on retraining AI models. They can use vector databases to handle large data sets more efficiently and tailor AI responses based on real-time data.
It's clear vector databases are more than just a trend. They're a vital part of the AI infrastructure. Speaking of advancements in AI, up next we'll look at Meta's release of a new AI assistant powered by the Llama 3 model. Stay tuned. Now let's discuss Meta's ambitious move in the AI chatbot space. They've just integrated their AI assistant, powered by the new Llama 3 model, into platforms like Instagram and Facebook. Jessica, how significant is this integration?
It's a huge step, John. By integrating the AI assistant into such widely used platforms, Meta is aiming to make its assistant as ubiquitous as possible. The Llama 3 model, which powers the assistant, is designed to be a real competitor to OpenAI's ChatGPT, with improvements in understanding and generating human-like responses.
Meta's not stopping there. They're planning to introduce the AI across more interfaces and have even launched a standalone website for it. Mark Zuckerberg believes this will position Meta AI as the most intelligent AI assistant available globally.
What about the technical side? How advanced is Llama 3 compared to other AI models?
Llama 3 is quite advanced. Meta has released two versions of this model, one with 8 billion parameters and another with 70 billion. They're open source, which allows developers worldwide to use and integrate them into various applications.
And there's more on the horizon. A larger, multimodal version of Llama 3 is in the works, which could revolutionize how AI interacts with multimedia content, improving tasks like image generation and potentially even video.
Zuckerberg has mentioned that this development is part of a broader vision, right?
Exactly. He envisions Meta AI not just as a tool, but as a major product that could redefine social media interactions and search functionalities across Meta's platforms. It's about enhancing user interaction in a deeply personalized way.
The integration of real-time search results from Google and Bing into the AI's functionalities is particularly notable. It allows the AI to deliver highly relevant and timely content responses directly in the chat interface.
With AI evolving at such a rapid pace, it'll be interesting to see how Meta's efforts stack up against other giants like OpenAI. Up next, we'll explore how a new wave of AI tools is set to transform work meetings, according to Wired. Stay with us. As we look at how AI is reshaping workplaces, Wired delves into an interesting development: AI tools transforming work meetings. Jessica, could you share some insights on this trend?
Sure, John. AI is becoming so integrated into meetings that it's raising questions about the necessity of human attendance. With tools like Otter, which can summarize meetings, Some leaders, like the CEO of a startup featured in Wired, find it easier to skip meetings and just read the summaries later.
That's an intriguing point. This CEO uses Otter to rank meetings based on urgency and relevance, attending only those where his presence adds significant value. It's a practical use of AI to manage a busy schedule effectively.
There's also something called the Otter avatar, right? Can you explain what that does?
Yes, the Otter avatar is a fascinating development. It's an AI system that can represent an employee in meetings they can't attend. It uses historical data like past meetings and Slack messages to respond to queries in place of the actual person.
Imagine a meeting where everyone is represented by an AI avatar. It sounds futuristic, but it's becoming a possibility. This could fundamentally change how we think about personal presence in meetings.
It does seem to border on the absurd, doesn't it? Sending avatars to meetings while possibly having a drink with colleagues at a bar instead.
Absolutely, and while it might sound like a joke, it underscores a serious shift. We're moving toward a scenario where AI could handle significant portions of our jobs, which brings up ethical and practical implications about the future role of human workers.
This also brings up concerns about the balance between AI assistance and human oversight. While AI can increase efficiency, there's still a need for genuine human interaction and decision-making in businesses.
Indeed, the future of work could look very different from today. Next up, we'll discuss a major milestone in military AI, the Air Force's first successful AI dogfight. Stay tuned to learn more about this development. In a historic event, the U.S. Air Force has confirmed the first successful AI dogfight involving an AI-piloted jet and a human-piloted aircraft. Jessica, can you tell us more about this milestone?
Certainly, John. Conducted under the Air Combat Evolution Program by DARPA, the dogfight took place at Edwards Air Force Base. An AI-operated X-62A Vista, a variant of the F-16, went up against a manned F-16 in a series of tests that pushed the boundaries of autonomous air combat.
The Air Force reported that these tests included both defensive and offensive maneuvers, showcasing the AI's capability to handle high-speed engagements without compromising safety or control.
What does this mean for the future of air combat?
It's a transformative moment, really. Secretary of the Air Force Frank Kendall described it as breaking significant barriers in combat aviation, moving what was once a distant dream into reality.
And it's not just about dogfighting. This test paves the way for broader applications of AI in aerospace, both in defense and potentially in commercial settings.
Were there any details on how the AI performed against the human pilot?
The results of whether the AI or the human pilot prevailed weren't disclosed, but the focus seems to be more on the advancement of AI capabilities and ensuring flight safety than on the competition aspect.
Exactly, and it's worth noting that test pilots were on board the AI aircraft and could have disengaged the AI at any point, yet there was no need to activate the safety switch during the tests.
It seems AI in military aviation is advancing quickly. Up next, we'll explore a significant unintended consequence of AI as reported by Forbes. Stay with us. Today, we're delving into a thought-provoking topic from Forbes about an unintended consequence of AI, its impact on human communication skills. Jessica, what's the core issue here?
The concern, John, is that as AI takes over more tasks traditionally requiring human interaction, like generating reports or creating presentations, it may inadvertently diminish our need to develop and refine our interpersonal skills, which are crucial for career success and personal growth.
And it's not just about losing those skills, it's about the value they bring to our interactions. Forbes highlights how essential communication and teamwork are, often ranked by executives as the most sought-after skills, even more critical than technical abilities.
It seems there's a real fear that AI could lead to a devolution of these skills. How are experts proposing we handle this?
Experts suggest a rethinking of how we value different types of knowledge. Instead of focusing solely on hard skills, there's a push to emphasize soft skills that AI cannot replicate, like ethics, team building, and creativity.
David Steele, quoted in the article, stressed the importance of becoming citizens of the world and developing a broad, culturally aware perspective. This becomes even more crucial as AI integrates deeper into our work environments.
Are there practical steps being taken to integrate these ideas into educational or corporate training programs?
Yes, some programs are already pivoting to emphasize interpersonal skills development right from the start of a student's education, ensuring these skills are not just an add-on, but a fundamental part of the learning process.
Yet, there's also a cautionary tale here. The article likens the situation to a Trojan horse. Seemingly beneficial AI advancements could be undermining essential human capacities without us fully realizing it until it's potentially too late.
That's a compelling analogy. As we continue to embrace AI, we must remain vigilant about maintaining and enhancing our uniquely human skills. Up next, we explore how AI is pinpointing where psychosis originates in the brain, according to a report from livescience.com. Stay tuned. Our next topic delves into a groundbreaking study reported by livescience.com, where AI has helped pinpoint where psychosis originates in the brain. Jessica, can you break down this study for us?
Certainly, John. The study used brain scans to explore the underlying mechanisms of psychosis, particularly in individuals with a rare genetic condition known as 22q11.2 deletion syndrome. This condition increases the risk of psychosis and schizophrenia significantly.
The researchers utilized a new machine learning algorithm to analyze the functional magnetic resonance imaging, or fMRI, data from the participants. This allowed them to identify specific brain activity patterns related to psychosis.
What specific areas of the brain did they find these patterns in?
The AI identified two critical nodes within the brain's salience network, the anterior insula and the ventral striatum. These areas are crucial for filtering out irrelevant information and predicting what information will be most rewarding or important.
This is significant because it confirms long-standing theories about the salience network's role in psychosis. Essentially, when this network malfunctions, it can lead to hallucinations and delusions by failing to properly prioritize sensory input.
How might this research impact future treatment methods?
The study's findings could lead to targeted treatments, such as brain stimulation, aimed specifically at these key areas of the brain. This could potentially help prevent or delay the onset of psychosis in high-risk individuals.
Additionally, understanding how these brain areas are affected by antipsychotic medications could refine how these drugs are used, making them more effective by tailoring them to better match the brain's specific needs in psychosis.
It's fascinating to see how AI is not only advancing our understanding of complex psychiatric disorders, but also paving the way for more precise interventions. Coming up next, we'll discuss how AI, described as autocorrect on steroids, has influenced the tech industry, according to PC Gamer. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Our final topic today involves a tech icon, Linus Torvalds, who's had a change of heart about NVIDIA, thanks to advancements in AI. Jessica, what's the scoop?
John, it seems that Linus Torvalds, known for his critical stance on many tech giants, particularly NVIDIA, has noted some improvements in how NVIDIA interacts with Linux. This comes as NVIDIA has increasingly relied on Linux to run large language models effectively.
Right, Jessica. At the Open Source Summit, Torvalds acknowledged that while he's historically been harsh on NVIDIA, their recent efforts to work better with Linux kernel developers and Linux memory management have caught his attention positively.
It's interesting to see such a shift. What does Torvalds think about the current hype around AI?
He finds it amusing, but urges caution, suggesting that we should wait a decade to see where AI technology really goes before making any bold claims about its impact.
And it's not just about interactions with companies like NVIDIA. Torvalds is also intrigued by AI's potential to improve development tools, particularly those used in Linux programming.
That's quite pragmatic. Does he see any specific benefits from these smarter tools?
Yes, he's particularly excited about AI tools that could help find bugs in software. Torvalds believes making these tools smarter could revolutionize how developers work, making their processes more efficient and less prone to error.
It's a testament to the evolving relationship between open-source development and AI. As these tools become more integrated, we might see significant shifts in how software is developed and maintained.
Definitely a space to watch. Thank you, Jessica and Joanne, for the insights, and thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Until next time, keep an eye on the tech horizon and stay curious.